DSN began in 1993. At that time, I was an employee of Lancaster County Office of Mental Retardation, which was known as LOMAR. We were a small agency. Our first location was at 2605 Everett Street in Lincoln, Nebraska. Within 2 months of founding DSN, we had grown to 2 locations. Within 4 months of operation, we had 4 locations. So the first year we saw very expansive, explosive growth. Well, DSN was founded on principles that really encompass human rights. We do believe that every person has value. We believe that every person is protected by the full weight of the Constitution and its amendments. We believe that every person should be the primary decision maker in his or her life. We also believe that every person has the responsibility to be accountable for the decisions that they make and the direction that their life takes.
The most obvious successes of watching people grow from living in a group home to moving into a supported environment with this little staff support here and there just for a few needs, and then being out on their own with very limited support.
There's a problem, I want to go to a staff meeting, I want to hear their ideas. They're the ones that know what could work if possible. They might have just heard no, quickly. And so I want to have them, if money was no object, if manpower was no object, what would it take to best support someone? And the ideas that they come up with are unbelievable.
Well, I think success around here can be measured in a bunch of different ways. Like I said, it's not always about the numbers and the percentages. It can be opening up a youth's eyes to a new avenue that they've never explored before. Getting a youth halfway to their goal. You're not always going to get the 100%, but if you get 50%, that can still be a success. And I think overall DSN and the Behavioral Health Department is successful in working with youth. We take some of the hardest youth. We've taken youth that nobody in the state of Nebraska would ever take. Youth that have been out of state, and we've got them back home with their families and being successful.
I think that the world needs to recognize that just because somebody has challenges in their life that maybe somebody isn't familiar with, it doesn't mean that they need to not involve themselves with that person. I feel that the world gets nervous due to lack of knowledge and education, and so they're very hesitant to participate or become involved in somebody's life if they don't understand it. So I hope that through DSN and our mission and our principles that we can bring to people the information and just make the community more aware that the people that we support are just that. They're people, and they can do the same things that we can do, but just in a different way. And that's what DSN does.
I am an office assistant for the HR. I help with the filing, sorting, mailing, copying, faxing, those kinds of things, and I really enjoy it.
Working at Good Samaritan Hospital in the kitchen.
Probably someday living on my own and having my own life, having my own thing.
They both want me to be able to live on my own someday in an apartment of my own and be able to learn to ride the city bus and go places on my own without having people take me places. And that's what I want.
Every once in a while, you'll just have a kid just tell you the truth. He quits putting on the pretend, the front. He'll just kind of start speaking the truth, how he really feels, talking about it, and that's always really good. That's when it's really good, because when they're around the other kids, or when they're around each other, they get anxiety raises, they get upset. So when you get them one-on-one, you can talk to them, and you really see how they are. That's when it can be really rewarding.
I feel listened to when I have concerns. I feel like I have the ability to make changes where we need to make changes. We are getting really good at our craft of behavior support programming, looking at the functional assessments of why behaviors are occurring, and coming up with creative and outside of the box things. I've not been told that's a crazy idea, we can't do it. So that's always good. I've gone to teams and had them say, what? You want to do what? And to know I have the support of DSN in pushing for those things has always felt really good.
It's sometimes very difficult as a parent and a guardian to let go. And as parents, we are the perfect advocate for our parents, at least our children, at least we think we are. And as they're growing up, we are their advocate in the school system, and the developmental disabilities system, and in the community. We are their advocate. And as they grow into adulthood, you take on a different role and responsibility. One that's hard to let go. Let staff take the lead. Let staff recommendations overshadow your emotional feeling in regards to wanting to, quote, save your child. Let the professionals take the lead, and by doing this, your child will grow, and your child will become more independent, and your child will be able to live on an independent way and manner.
You go to the Miss Amazing pageant, and I got head queen from Miss Amazing pageant, and DSN got me involved with that, and People First and ARC.
I became my own guardian April 12th, and I think it was at 3:30 or 3 o'clock, something like that. I think it was at 3:30 in Auburn, Nebraska. It was great.
When I was a direct care staff, I got done working an overnight, and I was still working on my undergraduate degree then. And we had a youth that got suspended from school that morning, wasn't allowed to go to school. We didn't have a day staff scheduled. So I ended up saying, get out of bed, you're coming to class with me. He sat in a college course with me. He was about 16, I think, at the time. Really enjoyed himself, actually. We had lunch at the Union, and after that day, he kind of got a different perspective on what he wanted to do. And then years later, I found out that he actually moved to Kansas, got into a college there, and was doing pretty well. So, I'd like to think I have some part in that. But
when I was 5, I was diagnosed with a type of muscular dystrophy, which is a type of disability. And it was, a physical and an emotional disability. So when I came to DSN, I guess felt very accepted by everybody because, they do have a type of disability just like I did. So I felt like I belonged here. Nobody made fun of me, nobody, questioned me. I was just accepted as another person, and that was very important to me, and it made me want to stay, and it made me really want to get to learn about the people that I was serving and the people that I was helping.
This job is seeing someone grow within their skills and their capability, giving a task or an assignment and them being uncomfortable with it and taking them to the point where they're completely running the show on their own and they really don't need us anymore.
2 years ago, it was like right after I became fully trained, there was an individual that had plans to go somewhere for Christmas, and the plans kind of fell through. And when I arrived to the location where I was working with him that night, he had his bags packed and was ready to go. And it just really broke my heart to see that he was standing there waiting at the door for this person to come get him, and there was a lack of communication or something, and he just didn't get to go with him. So I real quick decided that, I'll take him home for Christmas to my family. So I called up the right people and got the approval and everything, and then I took him home with my family, and it turned out to be a really great Christmas for both of us. My mom was super excited. She got to buy toys again, and because most of her kids are older and don't really get toys, so my mom ran out real quick on Christmas Eve and went and bought a bunch of toys for him and a bunch of other stuff. But it was a lot of fun. It turned out to be a really great Christmas for both of us and my family.
But I would say I'm most proud of the fact that most nights when I come to work, the people that I work with are excited to see me. And what excites me about that is that the better relationship you have with someone that you work with, the more strides they'll be able to make in their personal life, and the better you'll be able to help them
My son just moved up here with me January 10th, okay, from Chicago. And his very first question to me was, Dad, why are you working with those people? And I just found that to be very ignorant. And when I asked him, what do you mean, those people? He said, those people, the retarded people. So what I did, and I realized this was based off of ignorance. So what I did is I invited 2 of the individuals that I work with to my house. We all had dinner and we went bowling afterwards. And one of the individuals that we support is an avid bowler. My son, he likes to bowl as well. We went bowling, and to actually see my son, the whole mentality of my son change right before my very eyes, it went from, why are you working with those people, to the way he was interacting, treating them. One of the individuals bowled a strike. My son walked up to him, gave him a high five, was like, man, you're beating me. He got real competitive with, he no longer looked at him as somebody different than himself. And afterwards, my son said, Dad, I'm really sorry about that. He actually wanted to go do volunteer work with the individuals that we supported at the food bank. Okay, we spent the day at the food bank with my son and one of the individuals that we supported. And to see the camaraderie between those two, it was amazing.
It's a great life experience. Like for me, from like my college degree, it's not in this field, but when I do move on and go into the profession that I have my degree in, this will be the job that I'll remember the most, as like it's just a life experience. You get to work with some amazing individuals, and you have those relationships that and the bonds that you build with them with working with them, and it's something that you get to take home with you.
DSN seems to have an ethic of serving each individual as that individual. I mean, not just serving them, not just taking care of them and providing work, but also being an advocate, truly an advocate for that individual, for each one of them. And I really appreciated that. I think our daughter grew and improved, and she had an opportunity to spend time with a therapist, and that really helped a lot more than I ever expected it to.
One thing I would like to say I know makes us different, but I believe makes us different, is our willingness to truly commit to figuring out a way to provide the services. We're no different than any other business, than we have to take a look at the scope of practice and our ability to do what we say we're going to do. But if we recognize in the service, if we're already involved with someone and we recognize that there might be something that we just don't know how to do well, or that we think we can do better, we really commit to figuring out how to do that, even if it's just for one person. It may affect more people, but if it's just for the one person, we'll figure out what additional supports we need, what do we need to learn, what do we need to teach, what do we need to improve ourselves at doing, even though it may be very difficult to provide services for that young man or woman. So.
I asked Carl the other day what his favorite memory is with working with his staff at DSN, and he immediately talked about prom and his staff, Jared. And this little picture that we printed out is on our, I guess you'd call it our hall, the wall of fame. And the ARC held a prom a couple of years ago, and it was one of the first times Carl actually had to dress up in a suit and tie and attend that event. But what was nice is that the staff went above and beyond. Jared also dressed up very nicely, came in there, supported him. Carl had a blast dancing with all the pretty girls, and it's just one of his favorite memories, and he talks about it all the time. And so when you talk about anniversaries, I think it's always fun to reflect on what one of your favorite moments might be. And I think for Carl, I know this is one of his favorite moments. He loves having that picture on his bulletin board, and I guess I just want to thank all the staff for creating really precious memories for Carl.
I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate DSN for 18 years of serving people in Nebraska.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bob Christ, and I would like to wish DSN a happy anniversary. 18 years of doing it right.
Happy anniversary, Developmental Services of Nebraska.
Happy anniversary, DSN, and thank you for the great work you do for the community.
Congratulations, DSN, on your 18th anniversary in the state of Nebraska.
Happy 18th anniversary to DSN.
Happy birthday, DSN.
Happy anniversary, DSN.
Happy anniversary, DSN.
Happy anniversary, DSN.
Thanks, DSN, for helping all of us, and happy 18th anniversary.
A sincere thank you. Bless you. I would not be at the relaxed stage that I am if it were not for your efforts and your interventions with Josh and supporting him and redirecting him and just being there for him. Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So follow me into the night, grab my hand and hold on tight, 'cause we're off the road and on the run. So take a risk and stick to your guns, follow your dreams. I had a dream about a dream that was falling out, and it would seem that you could open up and share with me. So if you're comfortable